It's Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is April 23rd, 2023. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. Now, I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. That goes without saying, and I appreciate everyone that has. Last thing is that you can find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365, where I share ideas and other videos and scans and all kinds of stuff all the time. So at AlphaCharts365 on Twitter. Okay. Let's start with the SPY. I am using DeepView, by the way, deepview.com, if you're interested in the charting software. So this is the SPY, right? And we've been basically going in a sideways consolidation. And again, since this low, higher highs and higher lows to here, right? Higher low here, but we have not made that higher high yet. And that's concerning me. If this rolls over, I think things may get a little bit more, on the bearish side of things. Not saying we're going to zero, obviously, because we would just still be in this range, but definitely the uptrend would be put on hold for now. So with that being said, there are many names that are holding up really good and looking great, and that's what I have to present to you today. And before we get into those names, earnings season is upon us. This is from Earnings Whisperer. And you could see that there are some huge names this week, from Coca-Cola to Microsoft and Google, Visa, McDonald's, right? I mean, just huge names here. Facebook is this week. Oil and gas names, Boeing, Amazon, Intel, right? So, Lilly, I mean, it's huge names, gigantic week for earnings. This is not all of them. So know your earnings dates. Okay, that's the biggest thing I can tell you. Know your earnings dates. Okay, so let's go into this. I have 13 names for you today to consider, and let's get going. First one is LTH. This is Lifetime Holdings Group, and it's a newer IPO. You definitely see how it broke out, came back. That I would consider a successful retest, and now it's starting to move higher again, back above all moving averages. And so, that one looks pretty good. What else do we have here? ACCD. This is Accolade. I believe it's a healthcare company, but again, it got demolished. But let's look at this base it's building, because that's more important. You see how it's a nice little base it's built, right? You see how the character changed from this on the volume profile to this on the right-hand side on the volume profile. Definitely looks more like accumulation, and it's starting to take off. Again, some of these may be a little extended, so figure out what the right spot is for you to enter. But again, maybe a little extended. If it pulls back some, maybe a potential buy. Double verify, DV. And here's double verify. And yeah, I mean, just polarity at its best right here. It would have to break out for me to be even considering this name, because of where it is. But again, it's just kind of been marking time going sideways. So we don't know if this is distribution or not until after the fact. I mean, but it would have to break this line, this trend line, basically, and then I would get a little bit more bearish on this name. But as long as it stays above that trend line, I think the bull case is still intact. TXG. So here's TXG, again, trying to make that bottom. Looks pretty good down here, holding up reasonably well. If it breaks out, great. You could be long this name. If it doesn't, or if it breaks the 23-day EMA or even the 50-day, no reason to be long the name. Next up, Wingstop. So let's go to a weekly chart real fast. You see this was the prior highs in 2021. it tanked with the rest of the market, and it just rocketed back to those highs. Now it's starting to break out back to a daily chart, and it's starting to break out, and a little bit of selling pressure right here, right? So it hasn't cleared this candle yet. And that's kind of what I'm looking for on this one to really prove its breakout. So watch for a break of this high. And then, that's a potential buy area. Listen, if you want to play it against this level, which was the prior highs, I mean, that would make sense as well. And the risk reward is still very, very good at that point. IoT. I think everyone's been watching IoT and it's done very, very well. And let's take a look here. It had a nice little double bottom, right? Kind of broke out, made this retest right there. Now it's moving higher. Maybe a cup with a high handle is going on there. We'll see if it holds or not right here, right? But I think the breakout right there could be a high. You can use this low if you wanted to. Use a moving average to manage your risk, right? Whatever you're into, but a strong looking name, and again, great volume profile. Next up is On. So On had a great earnings, again, newer name, IPO name, great earnings, moved higher, and then kind of it's chopped around a little bit, a little wide and loose, but the volume to me looks more like accumulation and distribution. So I think it's it has a lot of merit to it. Again, it probably, it's right here at this prior highs. So again, you can play it against there, you can play it against this trend line, you can play it against moving averages, right? It's kind of starting to mind the 9-day EMA a little bit better right now, right? So you play it against that, right? And keep your risk really small. So that's on shoe company, FRSH. Here's one that's still kind of setting up, right? So it had, again, new IPO name, really crashed, and it is trying to break out against this bigger area. But if we zoom in, all of its moving averages are kind of bunched up in this area. So I like it above these moving averages. If it breaks below, there's no reason to be involved in them, period. Let's keep going. Tenable, TENB. Yeah, kind of dipped back below, came back higher, and now it's just kind of, again, moving sideways against here, this area, right? In general, this area. Again, each pullback is shorter in duration, decent amount of accumulation in general in this consolidation here, but it still needs to break out, right? Price still has to prove itself. So break out above, 47 and a quarter-ish, 47.50, something like that. That would be a potential area to manage risk against. Next up, SYM. Again, a newer name, broke out. This is a big area because it was the prior high over here. Broke out, maybe a little bit extended, so maybe it's got to pull back a little bit. But overall, a very, very nice looking name that has a close at all-time highs. What more could you want, right? Next up, DNUT, Krispy Kreme. Donut company, obviously. And again, here's your level, right? Trying to break out of its first real IPO base. Has not done that yet. It would have to break above 16 for me to be even interested in this name. But it's really not doing anything wrong right now either. So something to keep an eye on. CFLT. Another one, again, newer name, and trying to recoup and base out here. Decent amount of accumulation showing up in here. Have to come back and break out again. So it's a watch list name, not really actionable. I mean, I guess I could, you would say maybe against this trend line. It's about where a lot of the moving averages are. They're not really in the right order yet. I think it needs a little bit more work, but definitely something I am watching. And the last one is XPOF. Showed up on one of my scans. It's some kind of fitness company, obviously. But I mean, it did, basically it's right at all-time highs. Looks really good. And so it's just trending higher, right? What's not to like about that? I'm not sure what they do. If they're into, I'm not sure what they do, so I couldn't say, but something with fitness, but definitely trending higher. So one to consider on potential pullbacks on this one. Okay. That's what I have for you this week. Again, remember your earnings dates. Make sure you're looking into them because that's a binary event, and you have to be careful with that. Anyway, hope you all are doing well, and we will I'll talk to you later. Okay, take care. Bye bye.